Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Bami, and it's my responsibility to help coaches, service providers, and consultants to build, launch, and sell $2,000 plus hybrid offers through personal branding and authoritative marketing. Today, I want to share with you how you can build a strong personal brand in 2023. Before we get deeper into the nitty-gritty of building your personal brand, let's start with what exactly does personal branding even mean? What is a personal brand? Personal brand is simply how people perceive you, what they think about you. When somebody thinks about your name, let's say your name is Smith, for example, when your name pops up in somebody's mind, like what do they associate with you? What are those feelings? What are those things that they feel that, okay, when Smith is actually in the room, when I'm with Smith, I can actually expect to get this from Smith. That is exactly what a personal brand is. Now, guess what? Everybody has a personal brand. Whether you're 5 years old, 25, 45, whether you have a business or whatever, everybody has a personal brand, because at the end of the day, your personal brand is beyond just business, by the way. It's your overall thing of how people perceive you outside social media, outside business. It's even the same way that your mom or your dad or your parents, your spouse, your partner think of you. That is personal brand. So everybody has a personal brand. Since everybody has a personal brand, what really makes your personal brand make you money is if you are intentional about it. Because when you're intentional about it, that simply means you are able to put in conscious effort to want people to see you, to perceive you in a way that you want. When you decide to get intentional about personal branding, you can then make conscious efforts to shape those perceptions to help you grow your business or whatever you want it to do for you. Let's talk about why exactly do you even need a personal brand in the first place? Why does that matter? As a high-ticket coach, consultant, or service provider, why exactly do you need a personal brand? I'm going to be sharing with you today 2 reasons why. Number 1 is to build an authority in your space. I'm pretty sure the competition in your space right now is crazy. There are millions of people that do exactly what it is that you do. And for you to be able to sell, for you to be able to attract the right clients to you, you need to become an authority. You need to become the go-to person in your niche for a particular thing. That is exactly why you need a personal brand, or let me say that's one of the reasons why you need a personal brand. Because when you become an authority in your niche, you will have no problem attracting the right clients to you. Number 2 reason is simply because people buy from people. Especially when you are selling high ticket offers, people are not just buying your offer alone. People are not just spending thousands of dollars with you because your offer is good. Any client that is looking to spend $2,000, $5,000, $10K, $20K with you, most likely they are making that decision based on the type of person that you are. Just like you, for example, you can't commit thousands of your dollars to somebody that you don't like, somebody that doesn't vibe with you, somebody that you don't believe in their belief system, their perspective. So people buy from people. That's exactly why you need a personal brand, or let me say that's the second reason why you need a personal brand. Now, before we move forward, let's talk about the common misconceptions about building a personal brand, especially right now. Number 1 misconception is that you feel you need thousands of followers to be called a personal brand, but you don't. Even if you only have 10 followers right now on whatever channel you are using, you already have a personal brand. I think the reason why this belief system is actually infused in a lot of people is simply because you think you need a whole lot of people to be able to generate sales for yourself, but you don't actually. You don't need thousands of people to make money. You don't need thousands of people to get to 6 figures, for example. Number 2 misconception is that you just need to wake up tomorrow, take your phone, start sharing valuable tips with people on social media to be called a personal brand. I'm not saying your personal brand is not going to be valuable, or you're not going to be sharing like tips and tricks kind of like content with people. Your personal brand, no, not at all. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that tips and tricks type of content don't cut it anymore. People have actually come to the realization that personal branding is very important to grow their business. So you will see for the past 3 to 4 or 5 years, the whole personal branding thing has actually become more mainstream. It has become so popular. A whole lot of people are now jumping on it right now, and the people that are actually jumping on it right now, they are still using the same technique or the same tactic that was working 5 years ago, which is basically just take your phone and start sharing tips and tricks content with people. The reason why that doesn't work anymore is simply because it's outdated. People are already tired of it. What will help you with your personal brand right now is not just valuable tips and tricks content alone. It's actually you sharing your perspective, being seen as somebody that has his own thoughts, his own perspective, like you are a thought leader basically, makes your personal brand a personal brand right now. Tips and tricks content don't cut it anymore, okay? You need to become a thought leader basically. Now, let's talk about how to build your personal brand in 2023. I'll be sharing with you the exact steps on how to do that. And by the way, if you have made it this far in this video and you've not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button again, you have good things coming your way. What you need to understand is that there are two sides to a personal brand that makes money. The number one side is what I call the emotional side. That is the part that shows people that you are just like them, you are a human being just like them. That is the part that people connect with emotionally, that people fall in love with. That's the part where you basically talking about your story, things that you value, that you hold dear to your heart. That's the emotional side. Now, the number two side is what I call the expertise side. This part is so important simply because it's not just enough for people to love you alone. Like if you want to make money with your personal brand, making people love you is not enough. You need to actually have a skill set. You need to communicate, you need to talk about, you need to articulate how valuable you are, your skill set, how it can actually help people. Because at the end of the day, people can love you all you want. If you don't have a skill that can benefit them in one way or the other, they will never spend their money with you. You can actually gather a few followers if you are only sharing the emotional side alone. If you are looking to not just grow your followers but equally make money from your personal brand, the expertise side is so important, because you articulating what you are good at skill wise is what shows people that you are lovable, number one, but you also know what you are doing. They can spend money with you. This is important. Now what I'm going to do is to dive deeper into each of these two sides and help you nail both of them. Let's start with the emotional side. How exactly do you show forth the emotional side in your personal brand? Or let me say, how exactly do you build the emotional side of your personal brand? The number one thing that you need to do is to clarify your message. Remember I said your personal brand right now, the growth of your personal brand that makes you money depends so much on you being a thought leader. All right, don't forget that. We talked about that a few minutes ago. So this is the reason why you need to actually go ahead and clarify your message first for the emotional side, because your message is sort of like your philosophy, the things that you believe to be true about the world or about whatever industry you are in. So you need to actually clarify that message. Imagine you are speaking to a group of, like, let's say 1,000 people, for example. What is that one thing that you actually like to say to them? What's that one message that I would like to leave with them, that you want people to actually remember about you, that you want to scream out loud everywhere you go? So you clarify that. That's your philosophy. That's the first thing you need to do for the emotional side. Now, the last thing you need to do to clarify the emotional side for yourself is to pick 3 keywords that pretty much summarizes how you want people to perceive you. Remember, your personal brand is basically how people perceive you. So you need to know exactly how you want people to perceive you. When somebody sees a piece of content from you, or when somebody sees a video of you talking, what exactly are those feelings that you want them to associate with your brand? You need to write them down. Maybe, for example, you want people to feel relaxed. Maybe you want people to see you as valuable, or you want people to see you as gentle, loving, kind, whatever. Go ahead and write 3 keywords that summarizes what you want people to perceive about you. Now, these keywords, right, they are not like practical things, okay? They are just like, when you know your keywords, when you now start making content, just keep it at the back of your mind. So whatever, like, let's say, for example, let's say you pick a keyword like loving. So when you're making content, right, that simply means like you need to actually watch your language, the kind of language you use, and then let those keywords guide you when you're putting yourself out there. Whatever you say, whatever content you make on social media, off social media, keep those keywords at the back of your mind always, and let them guide you in your content. So when you clarify those two things, the message and also picking your 3 keywords of how you want people to perceive you, you pretty much be able to nail the emotional side of your personal brand. Now, the second side, which is the expertise side, how do you nail that? The expertise side, again, is basically your skill set side, all right? Like the part that shows that you know what you're doing. You have a skill that people can pay you money for. Now, the first thing you need to do to clarify the expertise side of a personal brand is to dial in who your target audience is and clarify those problems that they have that they can spend thousands of dollars on to solve. This is so important as a high ticket coach, service provider, or consultant, because if we don't know those people that want to go after, those people that have those high level problems that we can actually solve for them, that they can pay thousands of dollars for, nothing works. That's the first thing you need to do. Now, the second thing you need to do is to clarify a strong promise. What exactly are you promising people? Why are you promising people to help them achieve? Your promise must not be fluffy, okay? It must not be something that other guys are actually saying out there. It must not be something that feels it's not attainable for your clients. You need to clarify a strong promise that you are certain you can actually help people achieve, and a promise they can spend thousands of dollars to get. So clarify your promise, because your promise at the end of the day is what people will be buying into. An example of my own promise is that I help coaches, service providers, and consultants to build, launch, and sell $2,000 plus hybrid offers. That is a clear promise. A clear promise that summarizes what I can actually do for my clients who I actually help. So that pretty much sort of like guides even my content for my personal brand. That is what led me to making this video today, for example. Okay, so clarify what exactly your promise is. And the last thing you want to do to clarify your expertise side of your personal brand is to build out your own signature offer. Okay, this is so important because if you don't have an offer that people can actually spend money for, as a coach, as a service provider, or as a consultant, how do you make money, please? Okay, maybe you can actually make money from maybe like being an influencer or whatever. But if you really want to build a personal brand that people actually spend thousands of dollars with you to buy from you, you need to have a signature offer. There is no shortcut about that. So go ahead and build out your own offer. And for you to build out your own offer, look at the promise you are giving to people and just work on an offer that can help them achieve that promise. An offer that has your own unique framework, an offer that will take them through a series of steps to achieve that promise. So those are the three things that you need to do to clarify the expertise side of your personal brand. Now, when you know the emotional and expertise side of your personal brand, what you now need to do is to build a content strategy that will help you communicate those two sides. Because at the end of the day, content is what makes you build a personal brand, especially online. It's just how it is. It's what helps you shape your personal brand. Because if you want people to actually perceive you in a way, if you want people to see you as somebody that they can spend thousands of dollars on, they need to be saying something to them. And that something is content, what you talk about. The foundation of your content needs to be from the emotional and expertise side of your personal brand. So let me give you the 3 steps that you can actually use to build your personal brand content strategy. Something very quick, straight to the point. So the first thing you want to do is to choose your social media platform. What exactly is that place that you want to be on? And if you're just starting out on your personal brand journey, by the way, don't pick more than one. I don't recommend you pick more than one because each social media platforms have different strategies to grow. So you need to pick one, win in that one first before you branch out to another one. So decide on what exactly your own social media platform is going to be for your personal brand, exactly where you're going to be distributing your content on. Now, the second thing you need to do is to write down a list of topics or ideas or content ideas that will help you articulate the emotional and the expertise side of your personal brand. Example of content in the emotional side will be things about your story. Whatever your message is, like think about stories and experiences that have actually gone through that can help you communicate that message in different content pieces. For me, for example, my message is that I don't believe that you should be a miserable achiever. So I can literally come up with different, content pieces about my story when I was in the survival mode, in my business, or when I was miserable in my business. When I was making a lot of money, by the end of the day, I was burnt out. I was miserable. Okay, I can actually come up with a series of content ideas in that part. And the second part again is like, the expertise side of your personal brand, okay, which is basically contents that will help you talk about the problems that your clients are actually facing, that will help you show forth your skills. An example is how to build your personal brand in 2023. This is a content from the expertise side to basically show people my expertise, or my knowledge in certain areas. Write down different topics that will help you communicate these two sides of your personal brand, and you're good to go. Then the last thing that you need to actually go ahead and do is when you write down these topics, schedule them out. You can embark on a 30-day content challenge, all right, to actually make sure you stay consistent in posting content, because we are not sharing content consistently or at least 3 to 4 times a week on whatever social media platform that you pick. It's going to be hard for you to build a strong personal brand because that consistency matters a whole lot. And for you to stay consistent, one way I recommend is for you to embark on a content challenge. So yeah, that's it. I assure you that if you follow these steps I just laid out, you are going to be the strong personal brand in 2023. It's been working for me. It's been working for my clients. And I can't wait for you to make use of this. So if you've not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And yes, I'll see you next week, Thursday.